Hello children, a big warm welcome to our own channel, Ammu&You, where Ammu is ever ready to narrate beautiful stories out to you. These days, I've been doing fairy tales for you. And children, I think you all know what fairy tales mean. How are they different from other tales? Well, they have imaginary characters which are not humans. They could be fairies, goblins, gnomes, monsters, giants, anything. They could be just unreal characters. The stories which have these characters are called the fairy tales. So one such tale I have got for you today. The name is The Snow Queen. The Snow Queen? Well, let's see what is it about. In a land high above there, once upon a time, lived a goblin. Now, this goblin enjoyed creating strange things. One day, he created a mirror, and that mirror was a wicked mirror that reflected the good as bad and the beautiful as ugly, meaning that whatever it reflected the opposite. Unfortunately, just as he finished making the mirror, it slipped out of his hands and it fell down and broke into pieces. Now, there lived two children who were great friends in a neighborhood. Their names were Kay and Gerda. They were very good childhood friends and they were always happily playing with each other. When they were playing one winter with snowballs throwing at each other, the mirror that broke from the goblin's hand and fell into pieces, it came down and hit his eye, Kay's eye, the boy's eye, and it fell on its chest and it went straight inside to the heart. Both the eye and the heart got affected. How? They were covered with ice. Now, as soon as they were covered with ice, there was a big change in Kay's behavior. The boy who loved playing with Gerda now did not like playing with her. In fact, when Gerda would insist on playing with him, he would tease her. So unlike Kay, Gerda was very, very surprised to see this change and had no explanation that why this was happening. She only prayed and hoped that maybe Kay would get back to his normal self very, very soon. Now, one day, Kay and his friends went on a sledge ride. Now, all the boys were standing in a line and a sledge, one by one, was coming in front of them and they were hopping into it. They were all very excited. Kay also was waiting for his turn. When a sledge came in front, he hopped into it, happily, eagerly, and suddenly was shocked. The driver of the sledge had changed into a woman right in front of him. And the sledge also seemed bigger than the others. He looked at the woman curiously. She looked beautiful, but There was no warmth in her beauty. She looked so cold. Not the touch cold, the feel that you're not warm and loving. She was wearing a long blue gown. She had a crown made of ice, and she had her hair all white as snow. Kay asked her, "Who are you?" She said, "I'm the Snow Queen." And she pulled at the reins of the carriage, and the carriage sped in such speed high above the clouds that Kay had to hold on to the carriage very tightly lest he would fall. Now, Kay's friends, after the sledge ride, gathered again together and found Kay missing. They said, "Where is Kay? Where is Kay?" They went to find him at home, his home. But his parents said, "No, we haven't seen Kay since morning." "Then where is Kay?" Everyone started wondering. Kay's parents also got worried, so they just went to their neighbor, Kay's best friend Gerda's house, and asked her, "Gerda, where is Kay? Is he with you?" "No, I haven't seen him since morning, uncle." "Oh, he's been missing. None of us is able to find him." Hearing this, Gerda got worried too. She ran out of her house, searching for Kay everywhere that they would be playing around together. Looking out for him, she reached the river where she saw her boat was tied, as it usually would be. She untied her boat, hopped into it, and set sail to search for her best friend, Kay. She called out loudly, yelled, "Kay, Kay, where are you? Where are you?" No replies, no answers, except the sparrows fluttering here and there. She kept sailing, 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 and as she was passing a cherry orchard, she saw a funny cottage that had red and blue funny windows. She was just yelling out for Kay when an old woman stepped out of the cottage and said, "Hey, little girl, who is this Kay that you are yelling for?" So Gerda stopped and narrated the whole story of Kay. Old woman asked her to come inside and took her to her magical garden. The garden was filled with beautiful flowers of all colors, all shapes, all sizes, and the whole garden was filled with an amazing scent, fragrance of coming out from all those flowers. Gerda said, "Wow, I've never seen such beautiful flowers." She said, "Yes, you won't have, because these are all magic flowers. Each flower has a story to tell. So I may not be able to tell you anything about your friend Kay, but maybe one of these flowers could. Why don't you ask them?" So eagerly, Gerda went around one flower to the other, asking for Kay. But to her disappointment, none of the flowers had any information to give to her about Kay. Now, depressed, disappointed, and saddened, Gerda came out and sat under a tree, a big tree. She was tired, and more than tired, she was sad. She started weeping bitterly. when suddenly she heard a flutter. She looked up to see a raven alighting on a branch of the tree. The raven asked her, "Little girl, why is it that you cry?" Gerda again told the raven the whole story of missing Kay, to which the crow said, "I think I might have seen Kay." "You have? Where?" asked Gerda. "I have seen him in a palace where the princess, after refusing many suitors who had come to marry her, set her heart at Kay's cleverness and smartness and chose him as her husband. They got married soon after and they're living there happily." Gerda heard this and said, "Huh? Kay is married to a princess? Let me see. Can you take me there?" The raven said, "Yes, I can." And the raven guided her to the palace. Now, very softly, Gerda entered the palace and reached the room where the princess and the boy that the raven said would be Kay lived. She saw someone sleeping on the bed, and from the look, she thought, yes, this looks like Kay. Soon the boy, the person who was sleeping, turned, and when Gerda saw his face, she said, "Oh no, this is not Kay." So she was relieved that her best friend is not married to some unknown princess without even her knowledge. But she was sad again that she couldn't find Kay. So now she stepped out of the palace and she kept wandering in the woods, searching for her best friend, where she met a girl robber with her reindeer. The girl robber again asked her, "What is it, little girl, that you're wandering in the forest all alone? And you look so sad." Gerda again narrated the whole story of missing Kay. Now, the reindeer said he was also a magical creature. So he said, "Wait, wait, wait. I think I have seen Kay, and I can take you to him. He lives with the Snow Queen in her palace." Snow Queen? And where is her palace? Asked Gerda. So the reindeer said, "I can take you there. It's far, far away. But hop onto my back and I can take you there." So the girl robber and Gerda, both of them, hopped onto the reindeer's back, and the reindeer sped away. They kept traveling like the speed of lightning, but still they had a long, long way to go. They were very tired, so they took a halt for the night. They saw a cottage absolutely in the nowhere. They knocked, and a woman opened the door. She asked them to come in, and listening to the story, she said, "You can please rest the night here." Gerda was so tired, she just fell off to sleep. And that woman whose cottage they were resting in was a magician too. So she asked the reindeer that, "Where are you taking this little girl? This little girl seems to have a heart of gold, and only this beautiful heart has carried her so far. But are you taking her to the Snow Queen?" "Yes, her best friend is at the Snow Queen's palace." So the magician said, But how will she fight the power of the Snow Queen? Now, the reindeer said, "You are a magician. Why don't you give some powers to her so that she can fight the Snow Queen?" You know, children, what the magician said? No power can be greater than a beautiful heart. This girl already is endowed by that power. She has a beautiful heart. So none of my powers will help her anymore. You just take her and drop her somewhere close by to the castle, and let's hope that she can manage. Now, saying this, they saw that it was already dawn. The dawn broke. Gerda woke up, and she woke up nicely rested and refreshed. And she told the reindeer, "Can we leave? I need to go and find my friend." "Yes." And the reindeer again carried her far. And soon they reached a place where Gerda could see a palace at a distance. It was a strange looking palace. The walls were all made of ice. The windows were all made of snow. And from far she could see that the lights of the northern lights were entering through those glass walls of the palace. Now, the reindeer stopped and asked her to hop out. Kissing her good luck on her forehead, the reindeer said, "I can't go beyond this. You have to manage on your own. All the best." Saying that, it sped back, turned and sped back. Brave Gerda was not scared. Someone who has a beautiful heart. And children, what is a beautiful heart? A beautiful heart is a heart which has true love in it. Love for everyone. That is a beautiful heart that cares for others, thinks about others, and is always ready to help others. So, with that beautiful heart, Gerda walked towards the palace. She slowly went inside and all the glass rooms searching for Kay. And suddenly she saw him. Kay was sitting there inside the room, and he looked so very different. He looked blue. Why? Because the Snow Queen had frozen his blood. He had turned blue, and his eyes looked blank and empty. Why? Because the Snow Queen had frozen all human emotions, and that had turned him so cold, looking so cold. Gerda just was shocked. Her heart broke to see her best friend like that. And she felt so sad that tears started streaming down her eyes. And one tear accidentally fell onto the chest of hay. As soon as it fell there, it went straight to his heart and melted the ice cover. The other tear fell on his eye, and the crystals, ice crystals surrounding the eyeballs, all melted. And suddenly, Hay felt different. And Kay said, "I can see. I feel so alive and warm. And I'm feeling so different after so long." And he looked around and he saw Gerda. "Gerda, is that you?" And they both ran towards each other and hugged each other tightly, crying in joy. My friend Gerda, my friend Kay. And then Kay and Gerda realized that how happy they were seeing each other. Then the drop from her eyes fell on the ground in front of Kay, and the eyes melted, and the word eternity got imprinted there. Now that was a task set by the Snow Queen, that whenever Kay would be able to read the word eternity, he would be free from the spell cast by the Snow Queen. That is what just happened. Because he could not see properly due to the ice crystals around his eyeballs, he could not see eternity that was deep under the snow. Now he was free, and both of them, Gerda and Kay, set out of the palace of the Snow Queen, happily coming back to earth. They found the reindeer waiting for them. The reindeer greeted Gerda warmly and said, "Wow, what a miracle of a beautiful heart. You could free your friend from the clutches of Snow Queen. Come, let me take you back." And the reindeer carried both of them down the same path. And Gerda said, "I want to thank everyone who has helped me while I was looking for my friend." So on their way back, Gerda stopped everywhere, stopped at the magician's hut to say thank you for helping me, at the old woman saying thank you for your magical flowers, to the raven, to the sparrows, to everyone. And finally, the reindeer brought them to their own house and dropped them there. She hugged the reindeer tight and said, "I'll be ever grateful to you for all your help." Saying this, the reindeer vanished, and Gerda and Kay entered their houses crying out for their parents. The parents were all so happy, and everyone lived happily ever after. So, children, did you see the power of a beautiful heart? If you like the story of Snow Queen, you know what you're supposed to do. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and share the video with all your friends and families. Let them all enjoy the lovely stories I tell for you. Wait for me again when I come with another story. Keep watching all my videos. I would love to get your comments. I would love to hear your suggestions. The stories maybe you may want me to narrate to you. Be good. Have a good heart. Ammu loves you all. Thank you for listening to the story. Love you all. Bye-bye.